Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box with the Technical Trader at techtrader.com. These are the charts of the day, and it is Wednesday, the 14th of July. Well, a pretty good day in Wall Street. Only in the last hour did they pull them back a little bit on profit taking, and we've had a hell of a rally since the lows recently. But a lot of stocks acted very well. This is going to be a long list tonight, so let's take a look at some of the stocks that did well. Looking at ANTH, and boy, I had to cut out a lot of stocks today, so forgive me if I didn't cover the stocks you're interested in. ANTH would had a big, nice run from about the 4.5 area recently, all the way up to 10, more than doubling here, and then consolidated over the last 4 weeks. But today, popping 75 cents or 9.2%, and volume increased a bit to 1.2 million. But if it does make a move here, I'm going to look to see if it challenges 980, gets through it. The targets are 10 and 3/4, and then 15 potentially. So this could take off. Watch the volume. CEMP, interesting pattern, a long rising channel. And then after moving from the 8-9 zone all the way up to over 40, stock took a breather here for the last several months. As a matter of fact, since the March highs, 1, 2, 3, 4 months now. But it's a nice bullish coiling consolidation, and stock jumped 211 or 5.8% today. Volume increased to the largest in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. And if I don't miss my guess, I think the stock may make a run at the recent highs around 39.5. You get to that, you can see where the long-term pattern could be substantially higher. I'm going to change the angle of ascent here to look like this and like that. You can see the parallel channels, a lot of room to run. The stock could be 50-55 zone in the near future if it breaks out, so keep an eye on this one. Celdex, a stock I'm very high on longer term. After the 5-wave advance here and then the 5-wave pullback corrective kind of consolidation here, look at today's reversal from 24.37 to 26.15, closing at 26.12, just 3 cents off the high, up $1.39, 5.6% gain on $1.5 million, which happens to be the biggest volume in about a week. And and it did close above some resistance here. What I'm going to be watching tomorrow is, can it get above 26.85? If so, looking for 29.5 and then 32.5. And maybe a lot more than that. Up next is EPRS. Now, Appearance Biopharmaceuticals. Looking nice in the last couple of days with 3 consecutive run-ups, but today the gap breakaway above the declining tops line out of the wedge. And it may challenge tomorrow the 798 area, got up as high as 764. We get through that, we're looking at 9.5 and maybe as high as 12 eventually. Up in that zone. Be watching this one as volume today was the biggest volume since last January, February. EXAS, nice pump out of the falling channel, holding the major channel bottom and the 50-day. A pop of $1.48 or 5.37% on $1.6 million is maybe the beginning of a move that should test the 32 and 3/4 range, maybe get up to as high as 37. That'll be my targets if we can get through here. FIT, well, it popped out like I said it thought it could, and we traded that nicely today. Opened at 44.75, got up to 46, closed there. And more importantly, looking at a 15-minute chart, which is the best way to look at a recent IPO, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, and 4, the 5th wave's on their way, which could get it or should get it to around 50, give or take a buck. I think even as high as 51 is doable short term. And after hours, you can see the stock is coiling bullishly. Up next is FOLD, one of our swing trades, acting great. Another follow-through date today, up 37 cents, 2.5% on 2 million. But once it accelerates, I expect to see 16, 18.5, and then be a lot more than that, as high as 22 mid-channel, 26.7 at the top of the channel. Keep an eye on this one. Halozyme's doing great in here. Steady rising channel, popped to a new high of 24.70 today. Backed off under 24, but was still up about 2.2%, and the volume was a little better as well, so looking for more upside. Eventual target 32, but my short-term target 27. The new stock that we have here is IDI. It's thin, but I like the long-term picture, and you can see how it's coming across and out of a multi-year base, with the target now up around 18 short-term. That's a long way from here. We're at 1161. It's thin, but when it goes, it runs, and you notice that the volume cluster in the last couple, 3 weeks has been excellent. This little pullback got very quiet and narrow and low volume, and then it popped this week. Short term again, looking for 1819. IMG and Immunogen, one of our swing trades, looking great. It popped yesterday. Slight follow through today, but looking for more. Looking for around at 20 and then 22, 2.5. Nice pattern developing after the breakout here on big news and then following bull coil for 5 weeks. JetBlue, one of the first airlines to recover, breaking back across the declining topstone lateral resistance. And today, after moving down to 21.62 in the morning, closed at 22.45, just 12 cents off the high. And that breaks it out to a new closing high. At this point, I have to project a run at the top of the channel, which could get us in all the way up towards highs 27.8. NBLY right at key resistance, long-term highs, going back to last October when it traded at 60.28. Today's high 59.83. So we're just 50 cents off the high. And if we blow through that, we can see 65. MDXG. This stock looks great. Long-term especially. But the targets are up around 17. Mid-channel's right here. So if it doesn't get any further upside, and it has had a 5-way move, look for a consolidation retest of 12, 12 and a quarter. If we get that, and a nice setup the next few days, maybe we run this sucker to 16. NLNK, one of our previous favorites, we did very well with it here and here. Now may be ready for another big move. It's already started with a thrust in the last few days that's taken it from 42 to 52. So a 10-point move just in the last week has it near resistance. Will it break through and run to my next target of 58.5-9? That's what I'm looking for. Novavax, this swing trade continues to act well. A little mini flag after the breakout. I still think we're going to see 14, 16.5, and 18.5. Northwest Bio with a nice pop of 77 cents or 7.2%. Volume increase to the best in a week and a half. Looks like it's going to test the top of the channel around 13, 13 and a quarter short term. POWR broke out. We pulled back. We put a swing on it. And another good day today, holding support. Right now support appears to be about 15.70.75. Resistance around 17. We can get through that looking at 18.75. RDUS, one of the better swing trades in the last few weeks or months. We got on the breakout at about 51 and change. Today, 80. And that only took 3 weeks. Nice move. I don't know how far it goes. But you can see where the top of the channel projects 125.28. Wow. RTRX, well, also a nice move, breakout. Today, a little bit of a fall through. A micro one, though, small. But nevertheless, it jumped a couple percent, and the volume needs to get better, but the top of the channel says $40 coming up. SGYP may be getting ready. You can see that the pop, falling wedge, pop, falling wedge. Another little mini pop today of 43 cents or almost 5% on 4 million shares. Tells me it could be ready for a run towards 12 and then 14. SRNE looking good. Little inside positive day today. This double top at around 18.65. We get through that. Looking at 20.575 followed by 24.5. SUNE appears to want to go. 32.65.6 is resistance right there. If we get through that, I'm looking for a run to 36. Nice chart. My favorite solar. Synthetic biologics. Wanted to point this out to you. The long-term picture shows a huge, huge multi-year base. And today we broke out. Now, this pattern could lead to much higher levels. I'd be looking for around 7 on an intermediate basis, short-term chart. Maybe we get to 5.75, 6. TDOC, this IPO is doing great. Everybody on Wall Street's talking about this one. The 15-minute chart shows after a pop and pullback, it's really run nicely from 26.5 to 33. Almost 32 and change, 32.5. You can see where resistance is. You can see where the chart channel is on the 15-minute chart. I expect that when it does extend, we'll see 34.5. And ZIOP, long-term resistance up here in that 12.85 range. We reach as high today as, let's see, I'm sorry, long-term resistance is up around the 14.5 range. Now the short-term resistance is up near the 12.85 range, and we should test that tomorrow because the last 3 days we've been up and breaking out of the falling wedge. As volume increases slightly, but we need a little bit better thrust to get it through 12.80. Once that occurs, looking for 14.5, and then eventually high teens, something of that nature. That's it for tonight. We have some pretty good stocks to keep track of. Talk to you tomorrow in the trading room. Good night.